Hey everyone, my name's Michelle, and tonight I'm blogging on Taylor's blog called She'll Be Free, and I'm going to be talking with you tonight about the Voices of Ed, as Taylor is doing a series on the Voices of Ed and different people's experiences and lives. And thank you so much, Taylor, for giving me this opportunity to talk with your blog readers about the Voices of Ed in my life. So first off, I'd like to share with you that I never called the voice of my eating disorder, Ed. I always referred to it as Anna, and I still do, because the eating disorder in my life was always very feminine, and I felt that Ed was masculine. And also, my dad's name is Ed, so I thought that was even a little bit more awkward. So I just want to let you know that you don't have to conform to the voice of Ed. Ed is very popular in the eating disorder world to refer to our disorders as Ed, but you do not have to do that. So the voice of Anna in my life. I think they started when I was very young, and this is not unusual, but most people don't experience the voices of their eating disorder young. But if they did, they just couldn't put a name on it, and that was true for me. So when I was little, I loved this song called Sing by Karen Carpenter. And we were listening to the radio, my dad and me, and he was like, oh my gosh, today is the anniversary of the death of Karen Carpenter. And he was telling me how she died by starving herself. And I'm not sure why he decided to tell me about this at such a young age. I must have been about 4. And he basically told me that she did that to herself and it was a really sad way to die. And I was so confused and perplexed, and I thought about it for a while. Even though I was so young, I was just like, how could somebody do that? But I felt like I related to what she had done so well. And that was just a little bit weird because I got this weird feeling in my stomach, and I just kind of knew. I was like, I feel like I know why she would do that. Even though it was so little, I knew that that was me. Somehow I was connected to why she died. Not in a very literal sense, but just in the same kind of illness. And as I was young, this made more sense as I was getting older because I saw books about eating disorders in my house, which I'll tell you about. And I saw magazine covers like Mary Kate Olsen's story of having an eating disorder that was all over the media, and it really tugged at my heart. So I didn't know what was going on with me, but I knew something was weird about me. And anytime I heard the word eating disorder, anorexia, I just got this very odd feeling in my stomach, and I felt like that was me. And now we know, mostly to science and psychology, that that's not unusual. Eating disorders are genetically based, so to have those, well, they can be genetically based, they don't have to be, but to have those feelings is normal, even at a young age. The voices of the eating disorder, they still haunt me today, but I'm in my 5th year of recovery. So as I was younger, my eating disorder progressed from those voices to those actions. And of course, the voices are always paired with the action, but I want to share with you how you can decide to not let those voices of your eating disorder get to you. Things that have always worked for me are consciously making the decision to say no to the voice. And it's so difficult, and you might have heard this technique before. But if I hear the voice of the eating disorder in my head, first in treatment, one of the things that helped me to distinguish that those voices didn't have to dictate what I would do is just being able to say no and being able to understand that were kind of 2 parts to me. There was the eating disorder part and there was me. And they weren't really linked. So things that I might do that were eating disorder didn't have to be Michelle. And I am now able to break those apart. And things like lying about my binging and purging or starving or any kind of behaviors. Lying was the eating disordered me. Saying that I did eat when I didn't was the eating disordered me, and all those behaviors with the eating disordered me. But the courageous, smart, beautiful, hardworking person was not the eating disorder. That was Michelle. So I had to grow into who I was and who I am. Right now, to this day have difficulties with body image and saying no to the voice, because even though I've gone so long, about 3 years, without using any behavior, it doesn't mean that the voice doesn't still haunt me. And I hear that voice, and it's just kind of like, oh, you're going through a rough time. Why don't you use an eating disorder behavior? And I know that's Anna getting at me. And I have to make a decision to say, no, that's not me. I'm not doing that. And that works for me. It's very, very difficult, but it does work. And one more treatment tool that I want to leave you with was writing letters specifically to Anna. It was very awesome for me. It helped me even more so to make the distinction between what was me and what was the eating disorder. And in treatment, we wrote letters to our eating disorder, entitling it whatever you want. So that could be Anna, Mia, whatever you call your eating disorder. Writing letters to ourselves, which was Dear Michelle, and writing letters to our bodies. These letters were, Dear body, I love your thighs because they let me run every day. Dear body, I love your eyes because they let me see the awesome world that there is to see and the awesome world that there is to live in, not leave, without the eating disorder. So if you want more techniques or ideas of how to distinguish between the eating disorder and who you are as a person, feel free to contact me at flightforrecovery@yahoo.com or catch me at my blog at recoveryflight.org. Thank you so much, and I hope you choose and make that choice to not listen to the voice of your eating disorder, but to follow your head and your heart and the wonderful, beautiful person that you are. Good night.